Autographs Through the Mail, episode number 39, The Longest Letter. First off, we got a personal collection item here to show. This is an awesome card here. This is a Bo Jackson 1986 Sally League All-Star. Here he's with the Memphis Chicks. So this is a pretty cool set. It's got like McGuire and Canseco, some other major leaguers. That's JSA certified. So let's get to the Through the Mail portion here, autographs. First off, we've got 1983 Fleer, Ron Guidry. Guidry was a great pitcher for the Yankees. He had his best season in 1978 when the Yankees won the World Series. Reggie Jackson, Mr. October. I think he had some injuries that really affected his career, but I'm working on this 83 Fleer set. This is one that I needed. Next off, we got more 70s minor leaguers here. We got a Larry Monroe, 75 TCMA. Another minor leaguer here. We got Dan Briggs, 1985 Columbus Clippers. So that is a Yankees organization. There we got a 82 Topps traded. So 2 of 2 from him. Next, we got a Richie Zisk. So Richie Zisk charges $5 per. So I've got 2 1972 Topps rookies from him. Next, we got John Martin, 83 Topps. And an 81 TCMA minor league card. And then we've got an 84 Topps with the Tigers there. So the last response I have here is from Don Fisker, right here to the right. This is a 79 Topps signed by Bruce Bochy and Mike Fichlin. So we completed this one. 3 autographs on 1 card. Nice looking card there. So he responded to my questionnaire, and I was shocked at the response he gave me. So check this out. He wrote me a letter. I asked 4 questions, and this is a response I got. This is the first page, front and back. Second, front and back. Third, the front on that one, and the fourth is the front also. So this was 6 pages of him responding to my letter. Now, most of the questionnaires I get, it's going to be 1 sentence, so you might have 4 sentences. Some guys don't answer any. This is the longest response I've ever gotten from a player, and it's very interesting. I'm going to go through it here. So one of the questions, the first one was, so he said the questions you asked are very thought-provoking. So number 1 is the best advice you've ever received. So reading through this, I can tell that he's a guy, the kind of guy that when he wants to be good at something, becomes obsessed with it. And he says that specifically. When he signed with the Astros, he became obsessed with hitting. So he says that he asked all these great players that he met, like, what was the most important thing to become a great hitter. So he has Ted Williams here. You must get a good ball to hit. Rod Carew, you must stay calm and relaxed. Pete Rose, adjustments. Baseball and hitting is a game of adjustments, son. Frank Robinson, talent is the most important to be a great hitter. That's probably the truest statement, I would guess. Guest pitches based on pass at bats. That was Rico Carty. And Harry the Hat Walker, that was kind of surprising, but Harry the Hat Walker played in the 40s, and I believe he was a batting champion around 1940-41. He said to learn to hit to the opposite field, especially with 2 strikes. So make contact with 2 strikes. So Harry the Hat Walker, he would have been his manager or coach in the minor leagues. I know he was in the Astros organization. So he talks a little bit about here, but I'm from Dubuque. I was born in Dubuque. And he mentions Dubuque. And I didn't say anything about that in my letter. And I didn't no mention about Dubuque, but he mentioned it without asking. So he played there during the 70s, and so Harry Walker must have been his coach or manager at the time. Bob Cluck, field coach. And then he goes on to talk about some other coaches. But the best advice is the next question I asked. And he goes on to talk about, he talks about his fielding, that he didn't have he was a liability in the field, according to Major League Scouts. So he started asking questions to players about fielding, and Gary Maddox, who was a great player in the 80s, he just said to basically expect the ball to come to you and anticipate that it will, and what are you going to do in the situation. And then he goes on to more advice, talking about financial matters, which he mentions a couple books here, both that I'm aware of. The Richest Man in Babylon. So that's a book about how you should, what your mindset should be when dealing with your personal finances, basically. It's an old book, but it's one of the more probably the most read financial book of all time. And then he mentions Charles Payne book too, who is a commentator on Fox Business News. So he must have gotten into financial investing in the stock market, real estate, or whatever, I'm guessing, at an early age or after he retired from baseball. Question number 2, the biggest changes in the game. He mentions the lockout and how it's greed-based, specialization and home run, and then all the home runs, like strikeouts, don't really matter for anything. And then cybermetrics and analytics totally changed the game. So he said he coached and managed for 30 years, Little League and college all-stars. Kids are not playing the game, and it is dying. That is for sure a true statement. Kids playing video games, kids, there's a lot of factors, but video games probably a huge one. Social media, tablets, whatever. Everyone's on their screens. And it's difficult for people to get together, I'll say that. Question number 3 was the most difficult obstacle to overcome. And this is a great statement. This is kind of my thought on things. Our obstacles are just opportunities to grow and become stronger. And my thought is that, right, you grow, you become stronger. It's an opportunity. Every crisis is an opportunity. Every time you fail, that's an opportunity. Whether you failed, as long as you learn something, it sounds cliche, obviously, but you definitely learn more from your failures than you do from anything else. So he says he's been blessed by his playing career, coaching career, kids and grandkids, and thanks to God. So he goes on to talk more about God, but so he says, I do not mean to preach. You asked me some significant questions. I hope this letter finds you and your family well. God bless. Don Fisker. He puts a little baseball stick figure guy there. So he says, go for the downs and go deep. Take an honest cut. That's some great life advice, I would say there. So, this letter, I might actually write to him and just kind of thank him for taking the time. This would have had to take at least a half hour, I would guess, to take his time to do that, to just someone he doesn't know, just requesting an autograph. That personally, it means a lot that someone would do that. So I might just write him a thank you note, maybe ask him another question or two. I'm kind of curious on a few things he said. So if I get a response from him, I will definitely show that again. So that's Don Fisker, 79 Topps. I think that's the only card he has. I'm sure he has some minor league cards out there, but definitely that 79 Topps. You could write to him. So that's it for this one. I'm going to be in Chicago at the Sports Spectacular this week, pretty much most of the week. So I'm going to be gone, so I won't have a video until Monday. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.